Hello. Thanks for joining us again on the channel. Okay, yes, we've tried so many of these. Too many probably. But this one stands out. It caught me off guard. Let's figure out why together. Quick note before we begin. There's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer began an extensive search for a new display after months of deliberation, driven by a failing dual laptop docking station and the need to simplify a complex workspace. The primary challenge was finding a single product that offered a high-resolution 4K picture, a built-in KVM switch to manage both computers, and daisy chaining capability to avoid a mess of cables. This particular monitor was one of the few that met all these specific needs, particularly with its support for a Thunderbolt connection. Upon setting it up, our reviewer was immediately impressed with the fantastic picture quality. The display is bright without being harsh, flicker-free, and offers numerous settings for color calibration and blue light reduction to promote eye health. While many of the advanced color modes weren't essential for their daily work, the thoughtful inclusion of these features was appreciated. However, the most celebrated feature was an unexpected accessory, a small, wired remote puck. This handy device allows for effortless navigation of the on-screen menu, and most importantly, switching between connected computers with a single button press. It completely eliminates the inconvenience of fumbling for awkwardly placed buttons on the monitor itself. The design of the monitor stand was another high point, praised for its heavy, stable base and a smart, quick-release mechanism that makes assembly a simple one-person job. The experience wasn't without a few minor frustrations, though. The main issues center on connectivity. The absence of a built-in Ethernet port and a limited number of USB ports meant our reviewer still needed to use external adapters and a hub. Additionally, the placement of the main connection ports on the back made them difficult to access once the monitor was assembled. Despite these small drawbacks, the client found the monitor to be an amazing product whose core performance and brilliant design features far outweighed the shortcomings.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer wanted to share their experience with this high-end monitor, primarily aimed at creative professionals. Compared to other displays of similar size our reviewer has tried, this particular one stands out. It's designed for digital work, excelling in P3 color performance, and seems to be a significant upgrade from older models from the same brand. While not geared towards gaming due to the lack of variable refresh rates, it compensates with a plethora of features. A puck for easy adjustments, USB-C connectivity, a KVM switch, multiple inputs, and the ability to quickly switch between or even view multiple color profiles simultaneously. This client has tested it with a MacBook Pro and Mac Pro, noting minor compatibility quirks with older operating systems and specific GPUs. Viewing angles are decent but not exceptional, and the anti-glare finish isn't completely matte. They noticed a slight shadow along the bottom edge due to the thin bezel, but less pronounced than on similar monitors. Black uniformity is impressive for a display of this size, though some unevenness is visible in complete darkness due to the lack of backlighting zones, as its blacks are not as deep as those on older plasma screens. As a daily work monitor, however, our reviewer considers it excellent. The wide color gamut is particularly beneficial when working with Adobe RGB images and RAW photos. The reviewer values the true 10-bit color depth, the wide P3 color gamut coverage, the intuitive user interface, and the included color profiles. Pre-calibration was great, the color rendition matching that of the MacBook. Downsides included the slightly reflective matte finish, the limited wattage for charging a 15-inch MacBook during intensive tasks, and the less than stellar internal speakers. The reviewer hoped for a higher resolution and refresh rate as well as zoned backlighting. However, the pandemic has turned this into the main work display, and due to its input switching and charging capabilities, it has become even more valuable, effectively replacing the need for a separate Thunderbolt 3 dock.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer had been using a 4K display for years and was generally happy with it, despite some quirks that arose with OS updates. However, a particular macOS update rendered the display unusable, forcing this client to consider an upgrade to a Thunderbolt display. Initially, our reviewer opted for another product from a familiar brand, drawn in by its impressive specifications like HDR capabilities and a wide color gamut. The monitor arrived quickly, but the initial excitement soon faded. The backlight bleed was noticeable, which was particularly disappointing given the device's touted deep blacks. Even more troubling were several dark spots visible on white screens. The reviewer suspected dead pixels or dust trapped beneath the glass. Ultimately, the imperfection was too distracting, and the monitor was returned. With limited options in that display category, our reviewer decided to try this monitor from another brand. While its color gamut specifications weren't quite as impressive on paper, it seemed like a viable alternative. To this client's surprise and delight, this monitor has been exceptional. As a Mac user, it feels perfectly integrated with the operating system. Connecting via Thunderbolt is seamless, and there's even a specific color setting tailored for Macs. All settings are easily adjustable through dedicated software. The image quality is excellent with no noticeable artifacts. The stand is sturdy and the design is elegant. Overall, this monitor has been a very positive experience. Even the simple act of waking the computer and seeing the display light up instantly feels satisfying. The included puck controller isn't used often, but it could be handy for some users. The built-in speakers are not great, but they're adequate for system sounds.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.